and then we'll get our full-blown acceleration here. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're gonna be going over a 2021 Lincoln Corsair with the new Sport Appearance package. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo for giving me some time with this Corsair. Check out the inventory link below. Let's get straight in the video. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2.3 liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 21 around town and then 28 on the highway, with power outputs being 295 horsepower and then 310 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the Corsair. So first off, the hood has been unchanged, and then if we come down below, you've got the full LED lights with the LED accent lights, and notice how you've got kind of like the blacked out portions there in the light. Turn signal just down below that, and then notice the front grille's also been blacked out, and then you have the blacked out portion in the center of the Lincoln logo, and then just down below here, which definitely gives it kind of like a cooler, more aggressive, and obviously a sportier look. And then notice here with the pillars at the front, notice how those have also been blacked out. Coming to the side here, we've got two 45mm tires wrapped around 20-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And you guys know that I'm a huge fan of Lincoln's design language on their wheels. I think it just looks super unique, and it definitely has a luxury car appearance to it. Notice that we also have the world's tiniest fender flare wrapped around. It is body colored. Got your Corsair logo. You've got the two-tone mirrors with the body color on the bottom and then the black on the top. And then notice with the roof how they do the black here, and then they do the body color right there, and then you have the black pillar on the back. Again, definitely lends to a unique look, and it makes it look like the roof is floating. Let's pop into the back of the Corsair. So first off, storage space in here is really decent, especially for a smaller sized SUV like this. We do have a 12 volt right here, and then underneath, this is where the spare tire lives its life. And then notice you've got these buttons here. This just lowers down the back seats so that you can just basically press the button, lower them down, and then throw stuff here in the back. And that's all for the rear, so see ya. Now let's go over the rest of the rear of the Corsair. So first off, you've got the spoiler there at the top, and like I said, you've got the blacked out pillars to make it look like the roof is floating. There's kind of a look there at the roof. And then coming down below, we've got the Lincoln logo. We do have a full LED light bar back here, which I think looks really neat. And then I like the design language they've done here on the taillights. It almost looks like sunshine rays coming down. You've got parking sensors all along the back, and then you've got the dual exhaust tips back here on top of that. And other than that, that is everything for the back of the Corsair. Now popping to the rear here and going over the door panel, notice we've got the lighter colored leather on this portion, and then you've got the blacked out trim up here just above that, and then I like how it like swoops down into the door handle and how they continue the chrome right there, and then the design language with these speakers. Now coming over to the seats themselves, you've got full soft touch seats, you've got the perforated leather here in the center portion, and well, let's pop in. So stepping height's really good. It's easy to get in terms of headroom, it's actually really good. I'm 5'11", legroom as well. We've got couple vents down there, got a little charging port, and this pulls down to be some cup holders. But yeah, so far the back row is a nice place to be. Now here's the door panel in the front. Notice again, you've got all the soft touch on this portion of the door panel, and then you can see the same design there with the chrome that goes across. You've got the adjustments for the seat. This does come with memory seats as well. All of the window controls down here, and then you've got your mirror adjustments, and then the door lock and unlock. The mirrors are power folding, and that's why they're popped in. They do have blind spot monitoring. And then here are the seats at the front. So again, full leather. You've got the perforated leather. Really like the bolsters here. They're very comfortable. Got the Lincoln plaque. And then we've got the pedal layout just down below with our double pull for the hood latch release. Light controls are just right there with the rear hatch release. And then notice the steering wheel is manually adjustable. And there's one more look before we actually pop in. Now here's the steering wheel for the Corsair. Notice you've got all the leather wrapped around the steering wheel, and then you've got lighter colored leather in the center portion. Then they made the airbag cover lighter in coloration just to create some contrast. We do have some controls over here on the side, but notice that if you press some of the buttons, it actually changes what the controls show. So I think that's definitely a neat little function. It's something that Lincoln has on several of their models. And then the same thing down here, notice that you can't really see anything, but if I turn the cruise control on, well, now you can see. So again, another nice little thing. And then you've got your volume controls over here, paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel, and then you've got the stock there for the windshield wipers, got the stock there for the turn signal slash lights, or well, the brights at least. But that's all for the steering wheel. Now here's the center stack. So first off, you do have that center screen which scrolls through a couple different menus, just giving you basic vehicle information, radio information, all that kind of stuff. Pretty standard setup, but we do have some changes here with the drive mode. So notice you've got your normal mode, slippery, deep conditions, and then on the other side of that, we've got my favorite mode, which is Excite. And that's like your sporty driving mode, but it just gives you a cool animation there in the center, and then obviously it does change how the vehicle drives. And then also we have the Conserve, but who cares about that? We're gonna be in Excite all the time. Now here's the center infotainment system. First off, if we pop it into reverse, you've got your backup camera, and then notice that you do have a zoom in function. So if you are hooking up to a trailer, you can do that. And then remember, we do have the parking sensors on top of that. The trajectory lines do turn with the steering wheel. They're kind of like little gray lines. And other than that, that's the camera aspect of it. Now, as for the rest of the infotainment system, this is Lincoln's newer unit. They've had this out since 2020. Response time on the screen is really good, even though this has the plastic covering over it for the first owner to take off. And then notice that you can go to the seat and you can adjust some stuff from the infotainment system. And then we do get the ambient lighting, which I always have to pick a color in all of my videos. So we've got kind of the beige interior here. So I think that I'm gonna go purple. I want you guys to let me know which ambient lighting color you would choose, but I'm gonna go with purple. But other than that, that's the rest of the infotainment system. Down below here, we've got the controls here for the gear selection. And then up above, you've got your parking assistance. And then if you press this button right here, that is just for your auto hold and then your traction control, that kind of stuff. And then we've got this for the camera. So this just pops open a front camera. And again, it still has the trajectory lines, which I think is pretty neat. And then other than that, you've got analog controls for the radio down below. We've got our analog controls for the climate system, and then also for the seats. This does have heated seats at the front, and that's all kind of in this whole control panel. I think that looks really nice, and then it says Lincoln at the bottom. We have some extra storage space in here, and I mean, it is pretty large. You can see that there's a couple of USBs and a 12 volt. The camera doesn't want to focus on it though, sadly, but you can cover that up. And then this is the drive mode select. We already went over the drive modes. Couple more cup holders. You got your parking brake right here, and then we do have the center console, which again, leather and stitching on it, and you can see storage space in there is decent. And then coming over to the glove box area, lined with felt, and again, pretty normal glove box. My favorite thing is the vents, so I love how the vents kind of are all connected here across, and then notice that they connect it to the other vent. Just nice design touch. And then also the trim up. So you've got the stop start button, and then the trim that goes behind the infotainment system, and then the leather as well. I think that looks really nice from a design standpoint. Now up top here, we do have the sunglass holder, and then this does come with a full panoramic sunroof, universal garage door openers, and then notice they did a headliner to match the rest of the interior. Now that we're done going over the interior on this Corsair, let's quickly get into the pricing. So in terms of pricing, this Corsair stickers for about $46,000 for any type of market adjustment. That all being said, let's take her out and see how she drives. Let's go over visibility before we set off here in the Corsair. So first off, visibility of the hood's really good. It's just easy to see out of. One thing to mention, I'm getting quite a bit of reflection off of the dash into the window, which is pretty interesting. And then you've got the visibility through both the mirrors, which they do have blind spot monitoring. And then here's throughout the rest of the rear, which, I mean, pretty much average for the segment. That all being said though, let's set off. But actually getting up onto the road here with the Corsair, definitely nice and quick. It's got a decent amount of low-end torque, and overall I definitely like the ride quality of it as well. It has this nice smoothness to it on the road, and we'll go over a couple of these manhole covers. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really upset the vehicle. I mean, obviously you feel it through the suspension, but it doesn't throw the vehicle all over the place. And I want to see how the brakes are, even though we don't technically have to fully stop through this. I just want to see, yeah, pretty good. And we'll go around and see what the handling is like. Yeah, handles really good, and coming out of it, yeah, it definitely has a nice, small, nimble feel to it. And then what we'll do is I'll pop on the drive mode select so we can go over into the Excite. Instantly feel more response, definitely keeps it down a gear. I do not know what these people are doing in front of me. It's like they're like stopping and then going and then stopping and then going. It's a little bit crazy. Yeah, definitely a lot better in the automatic mode. I'd recommend just do the automatic mode. The only time I'd use the manual mode is if you're trying to go down a canyon, get a little bit of engine braking, that kind of stuff. But let's go back into normal mode and sum things up with this Corsair. So first off, I definitely like the sport package. I think it definitely gives it a cool look from the exterior with blacking things out. You guys know I'm not the biggest fan of chrome, and so less chrome is always a big win for me. And then in terms of the interior, I definitely like the look of the interior overall. I definitely think that it has a nice upscale luxury interior. Like, Lincoln just does a really good job with their interiors right now. The seats are comfortable, everything looks nice, all the touch points are really nice. And I mean, especially like the steering wheel feels really good in your hands. So it definitely wins on all the luxury car things. And then in terms of the ride quality, driving, all that, I mean, it feels pretty much, it feels very similar to like the Escape. If you guys have ever driven the new Escape, definitely, if you like the drive of that, then you'll love the drive of the Lincoln. They feel, like I said, they feel pretty much the same. It's not as big of a difference as you get between like the Aviator and the Explorer. Like if you drive an Explorer and then you drive an Aviator after, the Aviator feels like way smoother. This is a little bit closer. But yeah, I mean, overall definitely hits all the luxury car points. From the interior to the exterior. So if you're looking for like a smaller sized luxury SUV, I would check out the Corsair. It's definitely worth a look, and the sport package is the way that I would go. Now that is going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 Lincoln Corsair with the sport package. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo for giving me some time with the Corsair. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.